Let me read it. I'm doing a live. Okay. A foreigner who wants to marry a Filipino must meet several requirements, including legal capacity to marry, a certificate from the foreigner's embassy that confirms there are no legal impediments to the marriage. The certificate is valid for 4 months from the date it's issued. You got to have a valid passport with a visa. You got to have a police clearance from the foreigner's home country. You got to have an NBI clearance. So, bummer. Who's doing a live right now? I realize that. He's trying to act as his own lawyer. That ain't working out for him too far. It ain't working too well. So, no, he's full of shit. He's full of shit. Just read it. A foreigner has to have a valid visa and passport, police clearance, NBI clearance, everything. He ain't marrying nobody by no damn preacher. And if a preacher allowed it, it would be null and void. And it would be illegal. Sure, you could pay a preacher a few pesos on the side. Oh, and what else it says here? Okay, and you got to have proof of financial capacity. Proof of financial capacity, a means of support, divorce degree, death certificates, whatever's involved, a valid passport, police clearance, NBI clearance, and proof of financial capacity. He doesn't have that. Other documents may be required, depending. A marriage that takes place out of the Philippines between a Filipino citizen and another person must be reported to the Philippines embassy, blah, blah, blah. But there you go. Legal capacity to marry, you got to have that. He's full of shit. He's absolutely full of shit. When his mouth, lips move, you know he's lying. Had to interject with that one. I had. He can't get married. Bottom line. Cannot get married. I just read it. You could argue with the documentation. Just look it up on Google. It's very easy to do. Barry, I think he'd lose that bet with the guy. He said, I'll bet my bail money. What bail money? You don't have any bail money. You lied about having bail money, and you lied about telling your viewers that you get married to her not having the capacity to marry, either financial. You got to have a valid visa and passport, both. Capacity to marry, legal capacity to marry. All that good stuff. Face it there, bozo, you cannot get married in the Philippines under your situation. Stop telling your audience all this bullshit. Well, go over there and tell them that I just read. Oh, go on a show and tell them I got a live show on. Tell them that I just proved that he cannot get married. Unless he's going to go to some preacher who's going to accept a couple of bucks or something. That would not be a real legal marriage. He does not have the qualifications to get married. And as far as that picture of him with the family, yeah, the family that his girlfriend is trying to hide the fact that he's in jail. So much of a loving family that if they were that loving to him, they would understand that the guy's having a problem, and they'll accept him, that they won't. But they had to hide. When will they ship his ass to Billy Bib?
Raining?
Yes, it is. Starting to shower. So again, he's lying. But then again, what doesn't he lie about? Please. Whoever that dude is, he should have took the bet with Barry. He'd win it. Of course, you'd never get any money. You realize that. This guy doesn't know his ass from his fucking elbow, man. I mean, he seriously don't. You can't get married under his situation. He just simply cannot. Period. Try to convince yourself you could, but stop lying to your fucking audience, man. You can't get married, period. You in no position to get married. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, Anthony, Barry doesn't want to hear anything other than what he wants to hear. That's his problem. He doesn't like authority, he expressed that very well. He's always right and everybody is wrong. Oh, where is he right now? He must have did a wrong to be in his situation. Well, like I just quoted, because I just said. Because he's so there spouting out on his show that they're going to get married, they're going to get a preacher and all that stuff, they're going to get this and that, but someone told him on there and said, you got to have an active visa. And I straightened that out. I just read it. Gilda showed me her phone, pulled it up. You got to have a valid visa and passport. And you got to have a legal capacity. There has to be NBI, police clearance, NBI, Senemar, all this stuff. And you can't be in trouble with the law out here. You can't get married. If he was able to get married, he would have done that a long time ago. Now, I have heard of situations where to get a preacher to push things through or something. It's like getting a fixer. That wouldn't be recognized legal marriage. Not at all. But that's under scrutiny. Yeah. Senemar certificate, copies of his divorce decree, right? Yeah, I'm familiar. Oh, believe me, I'm more familiar than you know. And he's just running his mouth again. Again, when his lips are moving, he's lying. Yeah, I tuned in. I see he had a live show on, and that's all I heard. That's all I needed, and I get on. This kind of marriage is more ceremonial rather than legal. Yeah, you could have your own little personal marriage ceremony that, doesn't mean you're married. If it makes you feel good and say, yeah, you're my fictitious wife or something, and sure, if it makes you feel better. But he can't legally get married in this country. That's just it. You get married in another country, but it wouldn't be legal here. I have a lot of knowledge about that. That kind of marriage is more, yeah, ceremonial, absolutely. Yeah. I just want to say that the guy is full of shit. I'm going to go back to my movie. I don't feel like listening to him anymore. But I did hear that much. And again, he's lying. He's lying. Can't get married here. Not under his situation. It just isn't going to happen. What he needs to do, pay his price, go to the fucking court, get it over with, let the judge make his decision, put his ass in jail or send him home, whatever the fuck the judge wants to do. Period. Doesn't have to be a bunch of bullshit. The longer you do stupid things, the longer things are prolonged. The longer he remains incarcerated, the longer it will be that he'll never be able to marry, even if he got out. And how long is that going to be? And they decide to go to another country to get their shit together. He's still, to get her to America, if he had to go to America, again, you got to prove that you are financially able to support. Otherwise, USA looks at that as another illegal alien trying to crawl into the country under a pretense. You have to prove, even to get the chick there, on a special visa, she has to prove, or he has to prove, that he could financially support her so she does not become a burden to the country. That's it. He's so fucking full of shit, man. He's so fucking full of shit. He thinks he knows everything. If he knew everything, why is he where he is right now? If he knew everything, then he would not have gone 7 years without paying, because he's so above the law, or so respectful of the law. He would not be jailed right now for 7 years of not paying his visa fines, or fees rather. He would not be facing 5 charges of cyber libel if he had half a fucking brain. He He wouldn't have posted things about me like he did. Elon Musk will make sure that he gets kicked off the Social Security rolls. Yeah. That may not even last if you think about it. And people report him to Social Security. They may actually, never allow him to get it again. He'd actually have to go to work and have a real job. Gee, Boone, she would just go there and work at McDonald's to support. Of course she's going to support him. Who do you think? He already said on his show, and we know that already, that a woman has to have a job for him to be with her. Yeah, so she can support his sorry ass. Anthony says, in Barry's 9 years in the Philippines, has anything Barry proclaimed ever to come to fruition? Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. I'm not aware of it. He failed at everything in life, Anthony says. Kind of seems that way, doesn't it? He's got all the answers. He thinks he does. I mean, he won't even listen to his own lawyer. This is what you paid him for, man. I listen to my lawyer. The lawyer tries to give him good advice about something, and he don't take it, so why have a lawyer? Just surrender yourself to the court and get it over with, which is probably going to have to happen anyway. Pleads guilty, he did. End it all and see what the court does. But it's not that easy. There's certain things me and my counsel have to approve of, and we don't have to approve anything unless the judge supersedes our wishes, which could happen and may not happen. He may get off with a big-ass fucking fine of up to 1.5 million pesos. That's far from a slap on the wrist. If you can't pay it, you're going to jail. That's it. I just want to interject on there. He's totally full of shit. He's totally full of shit. He's never going to be able to get married. I've been hearing this shit for how many years now? Wishful thinking. He does not understand his situation, legally and otherwise, in this country. He just doesn't understand it. And he's too stupid to understand it. He's too stupid to listen to the wise knowledge, that his attorney has. He don't respect authority, even his own attorney. That's authority to him. He won't respect his own attorney's advice. What makes you think he's going to respect anybody else's? He has a problem with authority. That's clear as a bell. But I'm just saying, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going anywhere. And he is not going to be able, likely not to get bail. And he's not going to be able to get married under the circumstances. You've got to have an active, valid visa and passport. Well, that settles that. Just wanted to have my say.